folks were, they wouldn't go, they didn't go to church, but they would let him and Kathy go. Maybe encourage them to go, I don't know. And the special evangelist was coming to town, and it was Carlo Pietropalo. And Carlo Pietropalo was this guy that could, and he had special meetings all week. So if you did this evangelist thing, we knew when an evangelist came to town, you'd have a week of special meetings. And the goal was to get people saved. That was the goal. And, you know, for part of it. And Carlo could play the trombone like nobody's business as well.
Really?
Yeah. And Greg and I went to those special meetings. Somehow, I mean, well, we were just kids. We were only like 10 or 12. But somehow I got Greg to go, you know, with me. Because my mom and dad went every night. I had to go. And then along about the middle of the week, you know, Carlo would every night he'd have this powerful message, and then he'd have this plea for salvation and coming forward. And all you got to do is walk down the aisle and get up to the front and make this public blah blah blah, you know, and be saved. And so that one night, Greg and I went up. We were, you know, I thought maybe earlier than that I might have been a Christian. I wasn't sure. I don't. Anyway, I do remember going up to the front. That's all I remember. I remember we had the neatest, what did they call it? We didn't call it the altar. Well, they did maybe call it the altar. It was an altar call. That's what they called those back in the day. And we had neat woodwork there and low posts, you know, with a railing across the top of them. That was your days, you know, it was your, that separated the podium and all that, and the choir loft and all that. It was really neat, and it wasn't very high. And then there was a step up to it, and I remember going up there to the front of the church and where that all was, and then he and other people came up as well, and then he had a, you know, prayer and all that. And so then, and I know I have the certificate, but I can't lay my hands on it because I saw it a year or two ago, and that's when it was signed about we went and had a baptism then later. So I came forward, accepted Jesus, and Greg did as well, and then we had a baptismal service up at I'm going to say like Walnut Street Baptist in Muscatine. You know, they had a tank up there. We didn't have a tank. And Greg is the biggest